You're listening to Albany's Community Radio, 100.9 FM. The time is 23 minutes to 10 o'clock. Well, I want to introduce to you a lady of not only of song, but she's a composer, done a lot of work on stage, film and television, sold almost 70 million records over her time. And, of course, we're saying good morning again to Petula Clark. Good morning, Petula.
Good morning, Ken. How are you?
I'm very well. How's Melbourne treating you?
Oh, great. It's great, because we had a couple of days off here, which is always very welcome in the middle of the tour. I have a show tonight in Melbourne, and then we're off to Adelaide, etc., etc.
And then
we're
you're
nearly
over
at the end of the tour now.
I've noticed, I've looked at the of your tour dates, and I'm thinking, goodness gracious, keeping up with that pace, so you've had a few days off, well, that's good.
Yes, it is good, and it's a great city, Melbourne. And we're in a hotel that's right on the park, and so it's been very pleasant.
Yes, it's a lovely place.
We're off again, show tonight, then off on our travels again tomorrow. Okay,
when you get to Western Australia, I've seen where you're going to go. It's the Mundaring Weir pub, as we call it, but it's not just a pub; it's a great amphitheatre. Several hundred people at least will be able to sit there. But if it gets too hot, you've got a swimming pool right in front of the stage. You can jump in.
That could be interesting. I've never done that before. No, but I've heard that Albany is absolutely gorgeous.
Well,
I was talking to some people last night, and they said it's an amazingly beautiful place.
It is. Well, we think so, but we're a little bit biased about it. And you will have the brand new entertainment centre, which we're very proud of, which seats just over 600 people. And also, I can tell you that there's not too many empty seats left. So you've got a good following.
Well, that's the way we like it.
I didn't quite catch up with the fact until I've been poking around that you've done a lot of composing as well.
Yes, well, I always did write. When Tony Hatch was writing all those great songs for me, Downtown, etc. Now and then I would write a song because he would. I remember on one album he said, "Listen, I can't write anymore. I can't find any more ideas. Could you write something?" And so I wrote the music for a song called "You're the One," and he did the lyric, and we had a hit out of it, and. But, I've never taken myself really that seriously as a songwriter, but more recently over the last years I have. And in my show I do several songs that I've written myself. So, and for the album I'm preparing for in English, because I've just done one in French, when I get back to Europe I'll be doing a new album in English, and I'm doing quite a lot of writing for that too.
Just to keep you busy.
Well, yes. Well, I like, of course, I adore singing and acting and all the rest of it, but songwriting is a different kind of thing, and I love that almost as much.
I noticed that you sort of grew up parallel times to Julie Andrews, and of course we all know her story's gone on. But you were in The Sound of Music for 13 months as Maria von Trapp. That would have been an ordeal.
Well, it's a very, very energetic role, and I didn't want to do it, quite honestly, Ken, because for me it was Julie's piece, and they really they didn't exactly bully me into it, but they said, no, we want you to do it because we want a different kind of Maria.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, if I do it, it will be different. But and then of course they told me, well, it wasn't written for Julie Andrews. I said, oh, really? I said, no, it was written for a woman called Mary Martin.
Oh, yes.
And I remember seeing Mary Martin in South Pacific, and she was much more like me, my kind of voice, my voice is lower than Julie's. And so that changed things for me, and I met the real Maria von Trapp, and that really pushed me over because she was such a mad, crazy lady. I thought, well, yes, I think I can do this.
You can do that. Tell me, how hard did they work you on that? How many shows a week would you have to have done for that 13 months?
Oh, I did them all. I did 8 shows a week. I had a couple of weeks off in the middle, and my understudy went on. But apart from that, I did 8 shows a week.
That's one hectic schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did it for Sunset Boulevard too, you know, which is an equally tough role in a different sort of way. And I did Blood Brothers on Broadway. I did 8 shows a week on that too. But that's what you do, you know. And I think if people pay to see a certain person play the role, they don't want to turn up and see somebody else playing it, you know. That's how I feel when I go to the theatre.
Yes, I've been caught like that before. Yeah. Now, we were talking earlier, and I mentioned that you had a French career before you sort of got into downtown territory, but you said you've still got your French career. But you were well established in Europe before the downtown days. Was that correct?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I started as a kid. You know, I was about 8 years old when I started, and I was making hit records in English in my late teens. And then the French career happened quite by accident. I just happened to fall in love with a Frenchman and went to France because of that. I didn't go there for my career. And then I started singing in French and became a big star there. So it's all been a bit organic, you know. There's been no master plan behind any of this.
I shouldn't tell you this perhaps, but on the desk that I'm sitting at in the studio at the moment, I've written a note to all the announcers. Please, no more downtown Petula Clark. Use other well-known songs by Petula Clark. I've done that because everybody's sticking up for Petula Clark and they're all playing downtown. And I thought people are going to get a little bit put off by that. So I've said, look, use other songs. And
well, there are lots of really great songs that you know, Tony Hatch, who wrote Downtown.
Yeah. He was a great.
He also wrote "Don't Sleep in the Subway," "Couldn't Live Without Your Love," "My Love," "Sign of the Times," which I'll be doing all of those songs in my show, incidentally. Yeah, Downtown, of course, is like the signature tune, if you like. It's a bit like Tony Bennett with "I Left My Heart in San Francisco." You know, he sang a lot more really great songs.
Now, you've said that you will be doing other songs, not just your own well-known repertoire, some of the other songs from other musics. Tell us about that.
Yes, I'll be doing a couple of songs from Finian's Rainbow, the movie I did with Fred Astaire. I'll be doing something from Sunset Boulevard, an amazing song by Andrew Lloyd Webber. I'll be playing the piano. I'll probably be doing a poem. You know, I'm on stage for almost 2 hours, so I'm able to do quite a selection of stuff.
One of our station people here, he was telling me how that he remembers sitting down just as a young fellow in 1950, watching on a black and white television set a BBC children's program that featured you, and he remembers it quite clearly. And he and his wife are going to be there on Sunday night to see you again.
Well, we're not in black and white anymore.
No. Yeah, I think with you're going to find a lot of your friends there, and I know my wife and I will be going along with this fellow to cheer you on. And like I've said, it's going pretty well. The seats, not many left, and so I'm encouraging people to get down there and to enjoy themselves. Look, thank you very much, Petula, for speaking to us again. We wish you all the best, and not much left of your Australian tour, but we hope that you get rested and back into it when you get home.
Yes, well, I'm afraid that Albany is going to be my last date in Australia, so let's try and make it a good one.
Thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday night. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ken.